Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. I'm not going to drone on and on for y'all, I'm just going to tell you exactly how I felt about this NXT. I was very mad on it. Men's War Games is weird. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion about that, I'm sure. I just want to give praise to my two favorite parts of the night. Cameron Grimes, who continues to be one of the best promos in the company, and really just a great all-around package. And another great all-around package, also in the men's division, Carmelo Hayes. I mean, he really is feeling like an A champion because he keeps hitting it out of the park. So Carmelo and Grimes, I think, really stole the show for me tonight. Everything else was middling, to use the kindest word that I can. And there were definitely some things that pissed me off, but we'll get to that in the first segment. Before that, though, Ashton, how'd you feel about tonight's episode?
We are on the same page fully, man. The highlights of tonight's show were great as usual, but the rest of the show wasn't as usual. So I'm ready to get into our first segment.
Yeah, let's keep the momentum going. Heat of the night. I'm just going to come out swinging with my actual heat of the night straight away, partner, before I hand it over to you. Why the fuck, when you're doing vignettes with these guys about being better at cheating and this and that, do you have GYV lose their first match back on these vignettes, and to Jensen and Briggs, no less? Dude, this angered me legit. Because, like, you and I had a little bit of a sidebar before tonight's show, and we both agreed, like, oh, we really don't want to watch this. And again, men's War Games, I'm like, man, you're all really missing Undisputed Era bad, aren't you? But we'll get to that. But GYV, man, losing when I thought these vignettes were so creative that this could have really rejuvenated these guys. It could have given them, because they're already, let me be crystal clear. GYV are already an elite tier tag team. I would still say they're the best tag team in NXT, maybe even in the whole company, now that Revival's with AEW and stuff. But this could have been an interesting dimension for them. You know, not only are we just technically great, not only do we really know how to work a ring as a tag team, but now we're even better at cheating. There should be no reason why we shouldn't skyrocket to the titles. And you lose to the Rednecks? Really? That's all I'm going to say about that without getting redundant. Fuck that decision. I really could not get behind that. I have two other nitpicks besides, but we'll see if we overlap, because I'm guessing you have to have something on your plate tonight, right?
Well, yes, but I also want to address your heat of the night. I even said, and I'm assuming because you didn't say anything that you just weren't in the Discord at all tonight. Um, I literally said at one point I would actually be able to get behind Jensen and Briggs if they were less Confederate and more like the Bash Brothers from the Mighty Ducks. Like if these guys were just like going out there having fun beating people up, I would probably be able to get into it. Especially if they had like really cool tag team offense where they did a lot of things in unison, the way that like the Golden Lovers did. I'd be able
Yeah.
to get into it. But the fact that these dudes' entire character is that they are like stubborn rednecks who want to impress daddy, like, no, fuck everything about that.
And you know, you could get down with them if they were like that. I agree. And see, again, this is why I miss products like Lucha Underground and shit, because I know what I'm asking, and I know more pertinently who I'm asking for it from, right? Like, I'm completely self-aware here. But you know, it's actually kind of a shame to a point how much the South has been caricatured, rightfully so, when you look at how rightist it's become, because there actually is a strong history of like leftist consciousness and stuff like in the South. I think even Johnny Cash. Okay, I was hoping his name wouldn't escape me for like 10 minutes. Like, he used to sport a guitar when he used to play in jails, right? Because there was even all about, like, you know, prisoners should be treated humane and shit like that. And his guitar would say, "This machine kills fascists." So I even feel like that would be creative if, like, you didn't make them a caricature and you were like, yeah, you know, we're not these people that hate on other people and don't attack Carmelo and Trick, and we say it's because they're arrogant, but that's looking kind of bad. And they just did a
Yeah, I'm
unique
sure
take.
arrogant is just the code word that they really are using when they really mean uppity. You know how they are.
Exactly. Like, it would be so cool to me if they kind of went against all of our expectations and did this unique spin on redneck culture, which isn't even that unique because there are historical roots there. But no, they're the baby faces and they're completely stereotypical. And Carmelo Hayes is the heel for reasons that I don't understand. But I know that was you responding to my heat of the night. What do you got on your plate tonight?
You said cards on the table. You were just gonna come out and say it. I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't fucking like Tony D'Angelo. I don't think the dude is a good wrestler. I don't care for the character. I honestly wish they would have gotten a better performer to portray this character because there's a lot of potential there and it's just not being utilized very well.
I respect where you're coming from. I do still like him. I will say this, though, on your side of things, I think it is way too soon for him to be in a War Games. Like, when I knew he was going to be a part of this shit, I'm like, how do we go from Undisputed Era making this their match and having, like, holy shit moments and this and that to getting a guy, because I'm going to be real, again, cards on the table. I like D'Angelo, but if I'm working with him in this type of match, I'm a bit nervous. I'm not going to lie, because he's still very green. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's malicious. I'm not saying he's going to deliberately hurt me, but that's the problem. I don't think he would deliberately hurt me. I just think if he's trying to be bigger than his britches in this environment, because it's like, oh shit, it's a takeover. And not only is it a takeover, it's a fucking War Games. Yeah. I got to stand out. Yeah. I got to do something. And it's that mindset and being all pumped up and jazzed up that's going to get somebody hurt when you're as green as D'Angelo is. Mm-hmm. So I do agree with you on that front, like just in the sense that I feel like the opportunities he's been given are way exceeding his talent level right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's my big thing is like, I like character performers, but I can't get excited about a character if they're a lame duck in the ring. And to me, Tony D'Angelo is exactly that.
Yeah, I can completely understand that, man. Abso-freaking-lutely. And I just really have nothing else to say at the moment about that.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up my my main nitpick, just because it's a combination of I don't like that they put this high potential, high ceiling of a character on someone as green as this dude, and then pair that combination with the fact that now not only is this dude, let me rephrase that. Not only is this gimmick saddled with this dude, but now this dude is getting pushed to the point that he's in a fucking War Games, and that is like, it's like a double whammy. It's like I don't like one thing, and the one thing that I don't like being exasperated makes me dislike it even more.
Yeah, I totally get you on that. I think GYV was my only full-blown heat of the night, to be fair, but I did have two nitpicks. Which one do I want to talk about first?
Dude.
You know what? I think I'll say the one that's more pressing to me. I hate that Joe Gacy's going to be fighting for the Cruiserweight title at fucking War Games against Roderick Strong. Because here's the thing. Last I checked...
Did they actually say that it was going to be for the Cruiserweight title?
Vic Joseph did. He said Joe Gacy's got himself a Cruiserweight Championship match. Now here, I have to go to historical precedent. Don't worry, Javaris, because I have complaints about fucking Grayson Waller, too. Believe me, we're not fans of Grayson Waller in this house.
He was literally, I don't know how long you've been here with Javaris, but when John was trying to think of his second pick, I literally was like, oh, God, because I was thinking about bringing up Waller myself. Don't worry, Javaris, we got you, man.
Yeah, we do. We really do. You know what? Joe Gacy. Because now Foster could correct me on this, and I say Foster specifically because I feel like he'd be the most in the know. Because I know Joe Gacy has competed on 205 Live. However, I always felt like he competed on 205 Live in a non-cruiserweight context. Like, I know he competed on there because they were having breakout tournament qualifiers on there. Or just
Odyssey Jones has competed on 205 Live.
Yeah. So, to me, what I hate about this, because it doesn't work either way to me. Because on one hand, if it's like, oh, this will make Roderick look good, well, then he should be going after like the NXT championship if he's going to be like beating heavyweights and knocking them out like he did Odyssey Jones. But then if Gacy wins the title, because especially with this promo, it gave me genuine fear that he would. Yeah. Like, the Cruiserweight Championship represents weight shaming and exclusive. And I'm just like, see, again, this is why I hate this NXT, because the rednecks are the baby faces and it's a caricature of fucking leftism. That's a heel. And honestly, the heelish part makes sense. But again, it's a caricature. And the fucking boomers are going to be like, so many leftists are like that today or what the fuck ever.
Again, you got to remember, the redneck types don't think of them as leftists. They just see them as liberals.
Oh yeah, because everybody's just liberal. But why I have a problem when I say historical precedent, because I did want to talk about the historicity of this concept. You had Abyss win the X Division Championship in TNA. I feel like that totally killed its momentum for that period. I think they did the same thing in WCW, if I'm not mistaken. Like somebody that was like above weight winning the cruiserweight title. The point being, they've done this crap before. It never goes well. It makes the division look like a joke because, oh, look at me picking on these people, rather than them just doing their fucking thing. Like, I'm not even a fan of Kushida, right? Like, that's well documented. But how do we go from Kushida versus Escobar when these guys were killing it to now Joe Gacy being like, that title represents weight shaming, and then if he wins it, he's going to be the hero in his own mind, but it's going to be the bigger guy going through all the cruiserweights until they pick that one cruiserweight that overcomes, and oh, isn't that great? But it's like you're wasting so much time on the division. So I hated this. I really did not like this.
John, I'm kind of gonna pull a Craig here. You know how Craig always likes to take a little thing and drag it out to its natural, or I guess in his case, extreme conclusion.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the end of the Cruiserweight Championship in WWE right now.
It very well could be.
Because in my mind, I don't think they're gonna do what you think they're gonna do. Because you talk about, oh, Gacy's gonna win the title, and then there's gonna be one miraculous cruiserweight that's gonna be able to manage to beat him for it. I don't see it going that way. I think he's gonna hold the title until someone bigger than him goes for it, and then they'll throw it in his face like, oh well, you can't talk about not body shaming and not let me have a chance at the title, and then that bigger guy, maybe even Odyssey Jones himself, will win the fucking cruiserweight title.
Yeah, Jesus, man. And then they should just abolish it altogether. And then it's like, goddamn. But yeah, I just wanted to air that out. Do you have any other nitpicks you want to talk about?
I mean, yeah, Javaris already talked about it. I want to talk about it. Grayson Waller is on my TV far too fucking much right now. And it's actually made worse. I feel like I've already used the word exacerbated in this commentary, and I feel like I need to keep using it. It's exacerbated by the fact that LA Knight is very clearly, in my mind, either already currently or in the process of turning babyface. What the fuck?
Yeah, I was ready to come up here, honestly, and say, you know what? Ciampa versus Waller tonight. Waller desperately needed that because it wasn't as shitty as I thought it was. I even thought they did some good back and forth, some good counter stuff, and this and that. But then you had to go and promote Waller as heavily as you did. And you know what the funny thing is? And by funny, I mean, I hate that they didn't do this with literally any other pair that I care about. The stuff that they did with LA Knight and Waller in the sense of, oh, let's have them fight continuously throughout the show and like peek in on it.
I hated that.
I always liked that concept. I like the concept, but I'm like, why these two? Why couldn't you give me this with something like, why couldn't you give me this with like a Breaker Ciampa that I think could really bring the intensity and be cool? But no, you give it to two guys that I really couldn't care less about. And again, I was willing to give Waller some credit tonight, but then he got over promoted and thereby overexposed.
Dude, I wasn't prepared to give Waller any credit regardless of that match. Like, the match was fine, sure, whatever, it was nice. But even before the match, he cut a fucking miserable promo that I hated.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like, you go from cutting a shitty promo to having a decent match, I'll give you that, solid match, to showing up way too fucking much throughout the rest of the night and making LA Knight a babyface by being a dickhead and then fighting him. Like, fuck you. Fuck everything about that. Fuck everything about that storyline right now. That is the worst thing going on in NXT by far, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not even wrong, bro. I hate how promoted Waller has been because I just don't see it. And I hate by association how much this is promoting LA Knight because I've just never seen the big deal with him either. And yeah, like, dude, it is crazy how underwhelmed I am for War Games right now because I'm looking at this and I'm like, ugh. But again,
that actually reminds me of another nitpick I have. Glad you said that.
Well, let's see if you're with me on this nitpick. And really, I should say that this is the weakest nitpick, which is why I saved it for last. God, is there any way I can put this without being an asshole? Well, I guess I'll just explain it after. I don't get Kaylee Ray.
Same.
And I don't get how she could just invite herself on this, because here's the thing. Kaylee Ray, obviously, guys, she's going to be the last member. It's going to be Io, Raquel, Cora. Happy for her. She's probably the one I'm happiest for because Io, I just want to see move up and do bigger matches. Raquel, I don't give a shit about.
Raquel.
And Kaylee Ray, I'm just ambivalent is the best way to say it. I really don't hate her, but I don't like her either. She's just there for me.
And
she comes
to
out.
say that you're ambivalent towards Kaylee Ray is a benevolent thing to say.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking generous, at least for me. I actively do not give a fuck about her to the point that when she's on my TV, I stop paying attention. I just do not care.
Yeah, and see, why I say I don't get Kaylee Ray, because I don't know how over she was in NXT UK, because you and I never watched it actively in this net, so I do want to be as fair as I can be by admitting what I've watched and what I haven't watched. What I also don't understand, though, is what NXT wants to do with her, because she's doing the whole, like, Rage Room kind of vignettes where she's breaking stuff and this and that. And then her first match back, she beats
very
Sarray.
Clearly a heel.
Very clearly a heel because she beats Sarray, who is very clearly a babyface. But then all this time later, you have this semiotoxic attraction. You know, they're shitting on Cora Jade. Dakota, like, just out of nowhere, like, joins them because, you know, they're a team. But then you see all this debris around, and then you see Kaylee Ray smirking, and it's like, okay. And then you see her come out later because the babyface team is like, oh, we need a fourth. And kudos to Cora for kind of breaking the fourth wall and being like, are we really going to do the can they coexist thing? I actually did get a chuckle out of that, to her credit.
Are we allowed to call high spots early? Because I think Cora Jade was the star of the show tonight, low-key. Well, you know what? That's not fair. But I'm going to stand by it. There's someone else that definitely is more deserving of a high spot than her, at least for now, at least that I can think of. But I think there are two people specifically that deserve high spot, and since I'm assuming you will absolutely be taking the other person that I'm thinking of, I'll happily claim Cora Jade for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she had a great night tonight, and this is coming from a guy that just last week I was just kind of saying that I'm not really feeling it as of yet.
Yeah.
But this is a great night for her, and again, I always want to be fair.
Dude, it's so interesting with Cora because, like, she might actually make my Fave 5 next time around, just because, like, NXT has become such a fucking cesspool that an act that just puts a smile on my face is such a nice thing to have, and that's what she does. Like, her music hits, and it's like I enter that comfy place that I like to be in when I watch wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that, man. I totally get that. When it comes to Kaylee Ray, I don't understand if NXT's like, oh, we want to make her like an anti-hero, kind of like walk that line thing, because here's the thing, and again, this is where I said, I can't sound like anything other than an asshole. To pull that off, you have to be charismatic.
Yeah.
And I've just never seen Kaylee Ray as charismatic. Now, again, there could be avid watchers of NXT UK that are like, oh, John, you haven't heard her like cut promos, or you didn't see her whole run there. She's great. She's going to be great at this.
She was a heel for pretty much the entire time that she was there.
Yeah. So I don't understand what you're trying to do with her right now. And yeah, maybe it's partially on me because I feel like I would reject it regardless just because I'm not a fan. But I don't understand how you go from beating, in Kirby's words, a super babyface to, you know, joining a babyface team as kind of, in my mind, a tweener. Yeah. I don't get any. I feel like Kaylee Ray to me is all over the place, personally. So yeah, that was the other, like, yeah, and I appreciate that because I'm looking at that and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going too hard. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Do you have any other nitpicks you want to air out? Because that was my last one.
Kaylee Ray was actually my last one as well, and you beat me to her. So I fully sign on to the Kaylee Ray being the last member of the babyface War Games team being stupid nitpick. And I think that pretty much wraps it up for me too, yeah.
All right, let's mercifully get through this fucking review. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, we're about 20 minutes in, and we haven't had we've had very few good words to say about this show.
But the good news is, usually historically with TWitWoWs, when we have a long heat of the night segment, everything else is shorter. So let's fucking breeze through this, shall we? Fucking Grayson Waller cuts a promo. He's running down that nobody wants to see has-been superstars anymore. Mentions Rock, John Cena, even Roman Reigns. Like, how fucking dare you? I guess comparing himself to Roman. Ciampa comes out. They have their match. Like I said, I'll even give some credit to the finishing sequence, like the last maybe like 5 minutes of that match. actually the best thing I've seen Grayson Waller do. Ciampa ultimately wins, though, with the Willow's Bell and Fairy Tale ending combo. So he fucking wins that. And then LA Knight gets interviewed by Mackenzie, and he says, oh, Grayson Waller just sucks, and that's a fact of life, blah, blah, blah. And Gacy's like, oh, we should be building each other up, not tearing each other down. Like, fuck all this. I forgot that we have a skip option for people that we hate, so I'm just going to stop talking about this fucking shit.
Who was this?
Then we recap. The LA Knight just saying Grayson Waller sucks, and then Joe Gacy being like, oh, we should build each other up, not tear each other down.
Yeah.
And then Knight says he was going to kick Gacy's ass.
Did you catch fucking the wording that Gacy used here?
No, how do you mean?
He literally said, your facts are destructive and harmful.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
It's literally a fucking Ben Shapiro meme, dude. I swear to God.
Oh, my God. All right.
Joe Gacy is literally what Ben Shapiro thinks all liberals are.
Speed running NXT review. We get a recap of Hudson and Grimes, one of the better programs going on in the new NXT. I'll give those two guys their credit. Already talked about Toxic Attraction, insulting Cora Jade, like a skateboard. What is that? Like, what? And then Kaylee Ray, just the debris and all that other crap. Then we get to Cameron Grimes. Dude, you know how you just said, like, because NXT is such a cesspool, and Cora Jade is just an act that puts a smile on her face. Yeah. That's Cameron Grimes for me, bro.
Yes.
Cameron Grimes, and honestly, dude, the way you phrased it earlier about Cora Jade, that right there is why Malcolm Bivens even made number 1 on my Fave 5 yesterday. Because every time that man talks, my energy goes up. Him, Grimes, and Carmelo Hayes, at least for the men, are who do that for me. And for the women, Io definitely. Dakota Kai, I think, is the big one for me. I love her. So, yeah. But Grimes here, what did you think about this, man? Because again, he just keeps killing it to me. But dude, I want to know your thoughts on Grimes' promo.
It is so funny to me. It is such a coincidence that we just did Fave 5s yesterday, and within the confines of that, I literally asked you directly, do you think Kevin Owens is the closest thing that we've had since Dusty Rhodes to Dusty Rhodes? Cameron Grimes is in that fucking territory, man. Holy shit. This promo was amazing. This was promo of the year material for sure, in my opinion. This is the closest to hard times that we've come since that promo.
Bro, I could swear on everything I hold dear, because I'm pretty damn certain I've said this on this podcast, that I feel like Grimes, as far as talking, and this is a high compliment that I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans would come for my head for, but I really think he's the best of, like, Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
Like, he has that fucking energy. I mean, I love listening to this fucking dude talk.
It's Ric Flair's energy with Dusty Rhodes' accent and backstory.
Yeah, and it's perfect. Like, again, and I know I can't make this a nitpick or a heat of the night because I really do try and be fair for that segment of the show. So we'll just call this, like, I don't know, a John pick or a John complaint or whatever. Like, why isn't he in the world title conversation? Why isn't he in the North American Championship conversation? This dude should be vying for championships. Now, again, I'm actually really liking what he's doing with Duke Hudson, but after this, come the fuck on. Let's get him into, like, dude, I'll put it to you this way. We just got done talking about how Tony D'Angelo doesn't deserve this spot in War Games, even though, again, like, I am a fan of his, and you just were out and you were like, I'm not. The idea that a guy of Cameron Grimes' ability that actually can work the style that a War Games necessitates to be memorable isn't in a fucking War Games is honestly offensive to me on some level. It's viscerally offensive to me. He is one of the most talented in-ring guys in that fucking locker room. And when he cuts a promo like this, where he talked about how he used to have to sleep in his car or even slept on, like, a concrete floor. And yeah, he was a wrestling fan that was grinding. He was a wrestler that even struck it rich, but he kept his hair to remind himself where he came from, his humble beginnings. I love that. He made his beard matter. Oh my God.
Dude, I'm realizing something. This entire storyline is now a fucking heat of the night for me.
Why?
Because it's being wasted in fucking NXT. This is a main roster storyline that would get Grimes over like fucking gangbusters on the main roster for life.
Yeah. when you can make a beard a symbol of working class hard times,
dude, this
like,
whole
holy
storyline
fucking
is
shit.
fucking wasted on Full Sail. This storyline is wasted. This angle is wasted. This hair versus hair match is wasted. Tonight's promo, especially, is wasted on this fucking product, on this brand, on this crowd. This is main roster worthy. And not only worthy, it straight up should be on the main roster. Grimes should have been called up months ago. And frankly, he should have been drafted. I'll put it that way. He should have been drafted. He should have been on the main roster, and they should have literally given him this promo within a few months, because this is how you ingratiate yourself to a new set of fans and get over for fucking life. And they're wasting it on NXT, where he's already basically over for life.
I mean, first of all, I'm gonna 100% co-sign everything you just said, because you really just shifted my perspective radically. Second of all, we know how fucking great he is as a heel. If anybody's seen his like PWG portfolio, so to speak, as a babyface, dude. When you were talking about the main roster, we just had Survivor Series. This is the type of babyface that Grimes is, that he could stare down 5-on-1 odds, and I'd be rooting for him to be the sole fucking survivor taking out all 5. And they'd beat the fucking hell out of him, and he'd sell it like $1 million. But like, he's just so good at everything. And this is why this feud is one of the best things going in NXT. And I agree with you, given how fucking over I am of that crowd. And I know we're not alone, because I know Javaris has been ranking that crowd over the coals for a long time. Yeah, like, I feel like this is the best work happening right now in NXT. And Duke Hudson, to his credit, I love it. He shows up on the Tron in a barber chair. He's getting a little trim. And you know, like, oh, actually, he cuts off Grimes after he said, you know, you took like everything from me, and now, you know, I'm angry. And then Hudson, yeah, shows up on the barber's chair, and he says, I almost didn't recognize you, Grimes. And then Duke blames it on him, because it's like, oh, Grimes, you took a lot of money from me last week, and I gave you a free haircut. So it's almost like I'm really the victim here. And he said, look, I tried to transfer me from a troll under a bridge to a decent human being. And then Grimes fucking throws down. He says, you and me war games, hair versus hair. And I don't know if this is an insult to NXT, a compliment to Grimes and Hudson, or both, but it really is something that it's fucking war games, and we know we're getting 2 war games cage matches, and yet this is the match I'm most emotionally invested in.
Yeah. Because again, this match, this program, this feud, this performer in Grimes is too fucking good for NXT at this point.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. I think this dude is world championship material. I think this dude, fuck world champion, because I feel like world champion, I mean, that's one compliment and that's a high honor. What he really is top guy material, period. Yeah. Title or no title.
Like, I feel like Grimes and Gargano specifically are the most fish out of water in NXT right now. Like, as far as just being above it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if Austin Theory can get called up, what the fuck is Gargano still doing in NXT?
I know, not only get called up, but he fought for the WWE title last night.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, he did. He genuinely did. Yeah. And, like, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, let Ciampa be the fucking shark among guppies. I don't give a fuck. He can do whatever the hell he wants there. Gargano's too good for this. Grimes is way too good for this. And as much as I'm enjoying the content of this feud, I can never truly fully enjoy it knowing that it is being wasted in NXT.
I completely understand. All right. We get Pete Dunne talking about how he's going to win the title tonight. I don't give a fuck. It's just the same promo every time from Dunne.
Has there ever been a further, more promoted wrestler in really any WWE property with less personality than Pete Dunne?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. And yeah, it's just, well, you know, we'll get to him a bit later. Because obviously the Triple Threat North American title. We then get Indy and Persia. We get a recap of how Dexter Lumis was here. Which, oh, by the way, too, God, I know we already did Heat of the Night, but I just have to rewind back to that real quick, because I don't know if Lumis is dealing with a legitimate injury, and that's even why they did this in the first place. It kills me that he's not getting War Games and fucking everybody else is.
Yeah.
Like, it's his hand that got broken.
Yeah.
And he's not getting in the cage with fucking...
Oh, my God. Dude, what is there? That's another one. Loomis should be fucking called up too. He should have been drafted too. What the hell are they doing with him?
Dude. Now, again,
They
I don't know if
literally
anybody's heard anything
kayfabe
yet.
injured him exclusively so that they could not use him in war games. Are you kidding me?
Like, I don't even want to say, because again, like, I know how the internet is, so I know, like, context is everything. Obviously, it's never good when a performer is injured, but he better be injured because there's no good reason to keep him off war games if he's not.
Like, the point isn't, I hope he's injured. The point is, if you kayfabe injured him just to keep him off TV long enough to not use him in war games, fuck you!
Yeah. Yeah, because this dude has been so fucking consistent with his character, with everything.
Yeah.
And you're going to reward him by snubbing him off of one of the biggest gimmick shows that you do every year.
And frankly,
like,
if he is shoot injured, I hope they do fucking reward him when he comes back with the North American Championship.
Exactly. So either he's really injured and you should reward him, or he's kayfabe injured and you took him off this show and fuck you.
Exactly.
Fuck you
exactly. Yes. Bingo.
Because, dude, I gotta tell you, when Mello was on that fucking rope and he was ready to destroy Gargano's hand, I actually thought for a moment, oh man, Loomis is gonna make the save and it's gonna freak everybody out. Because, like, now Loomis is angry that he can't do his art. His art was his escape. Now he's really going to get everybody's ass. And then when Ciampa's music hit...
Loomis has always kind of come off as almost like a slightly supernatural character, so him being able to heal up from that shit in a week would actually make some sense in that way.
Yeah, exactly. But then when Ciampa's music hit, dude, the groan that I fucking emitted, I was like, fuck, man. Like, I hated it. So really feel bad for Loomis. But yeah, they recap that. Indy is very clearly distracted. Does mention that they took away Dexter's ability to draw. And I'm glad, that they brought that up. I'd like to see them explore that a bit more, like we said last week.
Yep.
She does say that Johnny Gargano will take the NXT North American title from Hayes.
Oh, God. Dude, I totally blanked. Another fucking Heat of the Night / nitpick is Casey and Caden beating Indy and Persia. What the fucking shit?
Dude, yeah. The only reason I didn't include it, and I could somewhat make room for it, is because, it was very clear that Indy was distracted throughout the match looking at her ring constantly and everything. But why I still didn't like it and why I would still make it at least a nitpick, and maybe we have to see what they do with it. But, like, you've just shown that Persia's better as a singles competitor and she doesn't need Indy. Because she won a handicap match last week. And now she tries to do a tag match and she loses and she doesn't even eat the pin. Now, again, maybe Persia will bring that up. So I should say it's a tentative nitpick. But it's like, if you already knew that Persia's like the dominant one, why not just, I don't know, run with that? I don't fucking know.
Well, there was this segment earlier in the night where Persia was basically offering to do the same thing she did last week.
Yeah.
To go out there and handle it alone. And Indy was just like, no, I'll do it. And then she just isn't in the match, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that, honestly. I don't understand that at all. So, yeah, that happened. Then after that... Oh, I actually missed this. We got a vignette for somebody apparently named Tiffany Stratton, and she talks about how she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth.
No, she actually said she wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth.
Oh, she was not born, yeah, because silver is tacky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Father's been paying for her tennis lessons, so she has the best serve out of everyone at the country club. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Is this bad?
Well, dude, again, if you know me at all, I'm going to say only if she can't work. And she probably can't because she's been wrestling for all of like 3 months.
Oh, fuck.
She's a former gymnast, though, so fuck, maybe.
You guys mind if I live react to this? Because it's 55 seconds. I'd like to get visual.
Yeah, go for it. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm into it.
Abel's here. Hi, Abel.
We love you so much, Abel. Oh my god. What the fuck? Okay, you know what? I can't even finish this. So
look, dude, here's the thing. Here's how I look at it. If they were giving this exact gimmick to Santana Garrett, I'd be into it because I know she can fucking work. Like every awesome or intriguing or horrible in this case potentially gimmick, I'm infinitely more invested if I know the person that they're giving it to can fucking work. And that's the problem with this new NXT 2.0 is that they're fucking debuting people who have like 3 months of experience. And the thing is, Tiffany isn't even the only one that fits that billing. Jensen has been wrestling for about that fucking long. In Jensen and Briggs, he's got about that much experience too.
I just have to say the thing that's screaming in my mind, even if it's not necessarily accurate. I look at Tiffany Stratton in that vignette, and I root for everybody, but, like, I get angry because I'm like, this to me is Frankie Monet at home. Now, I know Frankie wasn't the same gimmick as this.
No, dude, I totally
Right?
get you, though. You're 100% right.
You practically had the superior version of
Yeah.
this because okay, let me just be serious about why I say that. It's cliche as fuck. I'm sorry. Like, I get wealth and everything, but this is a fucking cliche. Like, if you wanted to be updated, you would do a yacht inside a yacht. Like, talking about silver is tacky and tennis clubs and shit, I feel like that's how rich people were portrayed in, like, the late 90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Well, dude, I actually saw people comparing this to Jim Cornette's character when he first showed up in WWF.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Like, I'm glad that I'm, like, not crazy or I'm not being hyperbolic when I, because I'm just saying what's coming to my mind.
It's got like Lucille Bluth vibes from Arrested Development.
Yeah, like
okay, we get it. You were rich in the early 2000s. It's it's a little fucking dated.
Exactly. It's like I can't believe I'm using this fucking parallel to talk about somebody I don't even know in Tiffany fucking Stratton, but like AJ Styles when he was in TNA, he did a shoot interview about Fortune. You know, when they were trying to do their own Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
And AJ was like pleading with them because they wanted to still do the limousines and like the suits. And AJ's like, that's not cool anymore. Like, have Bobby drive a sports car, have James drive something like, I guess, similar to his like Southern roots that would also show off his wealth. Like, I don't fucking know. Hummer. Yeah, drive a Hummer. Have it like, show some goddamn diversity, really flex the wealth, and don't just do the basic, oh, I come in a limousine, I'm so much better than you. And this is even worse. This is even worse.
Well, dude, because Fortune was in, what, like 2011?
Yeah.
That was
a long time.
That was a decade ago.
And now we're even further behind this in 2021, and you're doing fucking tennis clubs still. What the fuck? What is $1 Million Man your benefactor?
Dude.
What the fuck is going on? I'm so, like, guys, this is completely, like I even said, it's a live reaction, and now as far as analysis, it's a knee-jerk reaction. I heard that, and I'm like, this is Frankie Monet at home. You literally just had her. You let her go. She had 10 times the experience.
Dude, again, though, I guarantee you it's a Vince thing, because Frankie was a little chunkier. She didn't fit his aesthetic, even if she was a hot blonde with big, assets. She had a little extra pudge on her, and Vince can't handle that shit. Nope, you don't look like a Barbie doll, get the fuck out. And he brings in a literal fucking Barbie doll, a former gymnast, and gives a watered down, more cliche version of Frankie's gimmick to her, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hate on her. Genuinely, I think what I'm really hating on is the presentation of her, because it's ass. Like, I viscerally reject this.
And again, I can't emphasize enough. This woman had no wrestling experience prior to signing to WWE, which she did on August 31st of this year.
Wow, we're so doomed. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what we're doing here anymore. I was thinking watching NXT and like just seeing like how wrestling Twitter has been with the whole Seth thing and just everything. It's like everything is so bad. And I just want to kind of like dwell in a sphere with like you and the other chill Stardom fans. We just watch Stardom all the time. Like, that's my happy place as a wrestling fan. Just like spoon feed me very delicately because I'm a sensitive soul. Just spoon feed me that Stardom. Dude, I cannot fucking tell you. I will say this because I want to keep it positive. I'm rooting for Tiffany. I never want to attack people. I only want to attack gimmicks. I think the gimmick fucking sucks. Just a knee-jerk reaction. But I cannot tell you when seeing shit like this how much I am looking forward to Tam versus Mina for that white belt. I keep thinking about that shit. I'm like, we are so close.
3 days, man. It's in 3 days and a few hours.
Three fucking days, baby. We just keep it together. Keep it together.
Hey, IT, baby. Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together.
Oh, God, and she said, I must have missed this because I stopped it at the end. Her dad believes she's ready for NXT, and he's never wrong. I swear to God.
Well, no, dude, you've got to hear the wording. She actually said, "My daddy thinks I'm ready to take over NXT."
It's like this woman binge watched the Powerpuff Girls and was like, Princess Morbucks is my speed. Oh, my God. And then it gets worse. Because we have Persia, who I really like, and Indy, who I also really like, and whose trajectory hasn't gone anywhere where I thought it would, mainly because Candice got pregnant, but congrats to Candice. Because, dude, when the Way first formed, see, this just shows that I don't know NXT anymore. I thought, when they break up on the same takeover, they're going to do Austin versus Johnny, and Candice versus Indy, and the children, quote-unquote, are going to go over. And I thought Candice was going to put over Indy big time as a single star, in a takeover matchup. Obviously, that has not happened. It's probably not going to happen now, ever. And instead, she's got this tag team with Persia, which is fine. But with shit like this, it makes me just really prefer them as singles competitors because they lost to Casey and Caden. And I have to, talking about dates and how many years ago this was, and that was, I'm going to date myself right now with a Mean Girls reference. Stop trying to make Casey and Caden happen. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. They win the match. I don't know what else to say. They win the match like a double team splash type thing. I didn't care. Did anybody care? I'm sure somebody did, and you're valid, and I love you, but I just didn't. I didn't. This team sucks. Oh, God. And then we get a video package on Santos Escobar, which is like a balm to my fucking soul. Don't leave me, Daddy. Just stay on the television. What did you think about actually, no. This is still, I think, Legado came out to the ring. And then we got something with
O'Reilly and
with
Wagner.
Andre Chase. Well, that comes a bit later because we did get a little something with Andre Chase and Cameron Grimes.
Where Chase was telling one of his students, don't make decisions while you're emotional because you could lose a match, or in this case, your hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Grimes was like, Chase, go to hell. And then Chase was like, what?
Again, though, dude, the guy with the stringy, long blonde hair that was kind of hanging behind Chase, that was his top student, is another guy that they just fucking signed in August, named Brady something. I forget his last name. But he's another one of those guys, 6'3", 246, former linebacker at the University of Wyoming. Another one of those guys that they just signed, and they're going to try and make a big deal out of him.
And God, it's so frustrating because obviously WWE should be forward thinking about their future, and I get that, but my problem is, one, I think you might be doing it too fast, getting too many green people at once, and then how do you space them out? Because I think a proper model is
Brady Booker.
You get wait, what was that?
Brady Booker, that's his real name.
Okay, Brady Booker. How do you get these guys TV ready while you're prepping other guys that aren't TV ready? Because you should have almost an automated system. And I feel like all these people, none of them are going to be TV ready. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I agree with you.
So
man. I agree with you.
I don't know anything anymore, dude. How did you feel?
You know more than you think you know.
I appreciate that, good sir. You're beautiful. How did you feel about Escobar, our resident daddy? And well, him and Malcolm Bivens, they share custody of me. How did you feel about Escobar versus Malik Blade?
I think I missed this match, actually, unfortunately. So
it was, dude, it was decent. But you know what, dude? I got to be honest. I was hoping to give the ball to you so I could kind of calm down because I'm starting to think maybe I'm turning up a bit too much on this episode when it didn't kill anyone. But Escobar, a lot like Grimes, I'm why aren't you feuding with Ciampa for the world title? Why aren't you going after I like Zion Quinn. I'm rooting for Zion Quinn. But I think we can all agree, I would hope we can all agree, that Escobar is maybe a bit above that. I think he should have been maybe doing a main event feud by now with Ciampa and the title.
Definitely agreeable, man. Definitely agreeable.
I just don't understand. And you could even maybe make the argument, maybe I'm alone on this point, and I'm not even saying it should happen, just to be fucking clear. You could even make the argument, much like Grimes, that Escobar should have been called up already. This dude's so fucking good. I don't understand why he's still here. But yeah, he wins. He beats Malik Blade with a Phantom Driver in the middle of the ring. And then, Legado is talking about nobody says no to Legado del Fantasma. Particularly Lopez says that. Says, we offered Zion Quinn the opportunity of a lifetime, but he said no. And, well, look what happened to him. And now their leader, Escobar, is back. Legado is better than ever. Well, he was always going to come back. What did you think? Zion was going to lead the group? That kind of didn't make sense to me. It's like, well, yeah, we always knew he was going to be back. That man's a dedicated father. It doesn't mean he forfeited his faction. How dare you, actually? I'm kind of low-key offended now with everything happening with Zion, because it's like, wait, is he a usurper? I'm not here for this.
Nerve, man.
Dude, thank you.
Honestly, though, that would be a fucking incredible wrestling name. Zion the Usurper. Holy fuck, yes.
It is pretty sexcellent. Mainly because it emanated from my face and then from your face when you tied it all together, but I digress. So that popped me more than most of the stuff on the show tonight. So after that, we get Kyle and Wagner, and I don't know what put me in the mood to just take the piss out of this show, but we're here now, and I'm just gonna deal with it. Kyle has just got to be thinking, so how much longer does my contract have before I fucking bounce?
Too fucking long. That's how long.
Because he's like, they're calling out fucking Legado, and Legado's like, oh, we beat you already. And then Wagner gets in, he insults them in Spanish, and he's like, oh, my foot was on the rope. And that whole thing. And I actually don't hate Von Wagner. I want to like the dude. I think I do like the dude. I just want to like him more than I do because it's kind of a tepid likeness. It's like, you're good, but don't fumble the ball, okay?
I'm like, with Wagner, I don't know, man. I'm very. You said you were ambivalent about Kaylee Ray earlier. That's how I feel about Wagner. Like there's a part of me that wants to like him just because like he's new and he hasn't proven to be horrible yet, and he's associated with Kyle, and I like Kyle, but. There's another part of me that just looks at that brow and wonders, how did you make it out of the Cro-Magnon era?
Dude, I was going to say, Silas Young used to call himself the last real man of professional wrestling. Von Wagner should make a t-shirt, the last Cro-Magnon of professional wrestling.
I'm so glad we have similar thoughts about things.
Dude, that is a forehead of doom, man. Holy shit. No, and hey, I'm one to talk. I'm thinning up top. My forehead, it's practically its own continent. But
sometimes overweight people, when they bend their head just the right way, the back of their neck looks like a pack of hot dogs. Von Wagner looks like he had one surgically inserted into his fucking forehead.
Oh, dude, you didn't do him like that. Fuck. But yeah, they want the tag titles. Then Imperium show up. God. Sidebar again. I've been taking a lot of these tonight.
Oh boy.
Just to recourse back to the one heat of the night that I had. How are GYV losing and Imperium the champions? There's no justice. You can't tell me that justice exists.
Well,
it's a fucking lie.
I think that those things are like cause and effect, right? Like Imperium are the champions, and therefore there can't be any other heel teams with any momentum because all the face teams are the ones that are going to be the challengers for the titles.
I'm about to assemble a face team. Just me ripping off every face.
Holy shit.
That made no sense. I'm just very angry right now.
You know what? It wasn't the words that you said. It was the passion with which you said them.
Yeah. And it's just, now Imperium's doing the basic, we're from a higher culture. Look at how unintelligent everyone else is. And what kills me, what physically will fucking eviscerate me when I go to bed at night is that I'll remember that they're talking about Full Sail and I have to grit my teeth as I say, well, you're not wrong. And I fucking hate it. Fuck you, Full Sail. And they're like, oh, you teams figure it out. I'm like, no. How about your face figures it out? All of you actually know. LDF, you're cool. Kyle, you're okay. But way to fucking just lose all that momentum, and you're probably AEW bound, and you're gonna do Undisputed Era Light. And fuck, man. God, GYV should be champions. GYV should be champions. I will die on that hill. And what happened to the tag team division in NXT? Remember when they used to steal the show at takeovers? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
God, are we about to open up a bag of member berries on these bitches?
Oh, hell yeah. I've like crammed 5 in my mouth in the last 20 minutes just thinking about NXT I used to enjoy.
Mandy, American Alpha.
Oh, I miss them so much.
Mandy
But actually, I do love Alpha Academy. Yeah. Oh, God. And you know, I say I miss him, but
Mandy
it's like, John.
DIY.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're doing that reunion, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that one, Chief. And then people will be like, but John, we have Revival on AEW. And I'm just like, yeah, cool. So women, they're doing stuff. Cora Jade being the leader and being like, hey, we're not doing the whole can they coexist bullshit. We need to find a fourth. Yeah, she's right. We need to find a fourth. Who's it gonna be? It's Kaylee Ray. And yeah, then we get to Tony D'Angelo talking about the odds, blah blah blah.
Oh my
Mandy
God.
Rose versus Cora Jade.
I'm so angry that I missed this match. I really wanted to see this because I like Cora and I missed it, and I've been told it was really bad. I want to know what your opinion is.
Dude, because here's the thing, some people are upset because Mandy's the champion. I know Foster even raised this point, like, Mandy's the champion, she should really be losing already. And honestly, if we're being fair, I think Foster raises a valid point. I, however, would counter and say that, like, Kaylee Ray heavily distracted Mandy here. And Cora Jade was able to get the roll-up of Doom. And that's how this all went down.
Oh, so this isn't about Kaylee Ray being a babyface. It's about Kaylee Ray wanting to be champion.
You know what? That's a good way to look at it, man, because you're probably right. We know it's all about her winning that NXT Women's Championship. And that's why because you knew this, right? That she practically invited herself onto the team. And not only does she invite herself onto the team, she volunteers herself for the Advantage ladder match next week. And she's going to be facing Dakota Kai. That's the representative on the Toxic Attraction team. So go Dakota Kai. Not even sure if that'll matter. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, Kaylee Ray helped Cora Jade pin the champion. So I'm guessing after War Games.
I know at one point this afternoon before the show started, Kirby in chat in the Discord said that he was looking forward to Mandy versus Cora just to see what she can do. And my response was, well, Mandy Rose isn't exactly the type of person to really help someone show off what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't tune into a Mandy Rose match hoping to really see the best out of her opponent. That's not how that works. She's not that type of worker at all. If anything, she's the exact opposite. She needs to be in the ring with someone that can make her look good, because otherwise it's just a fuck match.
Yeah, see, and again, that's my problem. And again, I'm not trying to be mean-spirited to anybody. Truly, I'm not. I'm trying to keep it focused on gimmicks and everything else. I don't think Mandy's a bad person. I don't even necessarily think she's a complete and utter shitter. I think she does want to get better in her own way. I just feel like WWE is the wrong system to do that. Because I feel like they've even taken good people and they don't improve them by much, right? So my thing is, when you're a champion, you've got to be able to make your opposition look good. You've got to be able to go out there and do those types of matches. Mandy Rose just can't.
Neither could Raquel. So that's not even new to that women's championship.
I know, and it sucks, because I'm just thinking, like, God, even say what you will about Paige, because I know, like, she's done stuff that hasn't really aged her legacy well, and I don't know if she'll ever come back. She seems to be getting healthier every day, but even when she was NXT and the first NXT Women's Champion, she was able to do it. Fucking, Bayley, of course, was able to do it. Asuka, Sasha, and that's just, wow, how we have fallen. I really don't like
the lineage really died with Raquel, man. I honestly, like, it makes me wish Io Shirai was a little more selfish and was a little more willing to stand up for herself and be like, no, this is the wrong decision. Even if it meant them being like, you know what, if you don't want to put her over, fuck you, we're stripping you of the title. Because then she could have gone out with some dignity and not had to put over an absolute shitter like Raquel.
Io's kind of fascinating because I believe her belief in herself circles all the way back to humility.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to do the job right because I'm so fucking good and I'm going to succeed regardless. Yep. And this was just a
100%.
Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She is so fucking good, and she is so aware of how good she is that she also knows that there is nothing the WWE can do to fuck her up, no matter how hard they try. Which might actually be circling all the way back around to hubris, because WWE can absolutely fuck you up if they try.
I feel like you and I just did math together, and this might be the only time I'm here for it.
Like, where's Mark? We need confirmation.
It circles back to humility, and then Addison's just like, no, John, you didn't account for the corporate function. See, when you add that to the integer, it actually circles all the way back to hubris. I really said that this is going to be a brief review, and we're still fucking going. So, yeah, Cora Jade wins. That happened. Then, yeah, she invites herself onto the team, blah, blah, blah.
Kaylee.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to start skipping Gacy's shit, because I don't really need to fucking talk about this. Gacy Waller, skipping that because LA Knight attacked anyway. And then we get Malcolm Bivens.
Wait, didn't you get that backwards? Wasn't it Gacy Knight and then Waller attacked?
No, I got it absolutely right. It was supposed to be Gacy Waller. Actually, no, you're right. You're right. I guess where I'm reading this recap from, because my notes were a bit off here, because God knows I wanted to watch anything else. You're right. It was Gacy Knight, and then Waller attacked, because he already had the match with Champ at the start of the show. Okay, my apologies. So, Gacy Knight, and then Waller attacks, and then Gacy's like, oh, we could take this opportunity to build a safe space, and blah, 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 and his whole bullshit. Then Diamond Mine interrupts, and can I just say, good sir, thank fucking God for Malcolm Bivens. He can make anybody interesting, unironically, because the way he talks shit, I'm like, wow, this person might actually have more personality than I gave them credit for. And then when you take Malcolm Bivens out of the equation, then they have to use their own words.
We're doing more math?
I was right the first time. Yeah. It's a math episode. We really should have gotten Markin on this. It's a math episode of fucking TWitWoW. No, I love Bivens, man. I love how he talks. I love how he carries himself as a manager. I've spoken in the past that I've listened to interviews of him, and that he doesn't take inspiration traditionally from like your Lou Albanos or your Freddie Blassi's. Like his inspiration comes from black comedians. Like he mentioned Bernie Mac, for instance. And honestly, you can see it. I honestly believe you could see it with his energy and how he does line delivery. Because what was one thing that he said? He said Roderick Strong's going to beat you like a Lil Jon track. And I love that. I love that he makes references like that. It's just so different. I don't think anybody talks like Bivens does, with the references that he makes and stuff like that. And, he's like putting down Gacy. We obviously get the whole thing with him and Strong. We get the match for War Games. You guys already know my complaints about that. But we know that Ivy Nile is going to compete. And before that, Gacy's like, oh, I look forward to resolving this conflict together or whatever. And Bivens is like, I bet. He actually says that. And he's like, Julius, Brutus, get this trash out of the ring. And then Harland appears out of nowhere. And Bivens is like, whoa. Ivy Nile's got a match. So, not now, not tonight. And so they back off. Gacy's looking at Harland with a sick smile. Don't really get that either, like this whole pairing and when Harland's finally going to wrestle. But, then we get Ivy Nile versus Ulysso Leone. How did we feel about Ivy here? I wanted your thoughts on this.
Meh.
I like the Dragon Sleeper she did. I thought that looked genuinely good. I popped for that.
You know who she kind of gives me vibes of?
Who's that?
The muscle hamster Saida.
Oh, man.
She's just this tiny little jacked up thing that's really strong for her size, but also look at her size.
Yeah, that's fair. But I thought the Dragon Sleeper looked really cool.
You know who I fucking miss?
Beg pardon?
I said, you know who I fucking miss?
Who's that?
Jazzy Gabbert.
Yeah, where does she go? Is she retired or something?
She's definitely not in the WWE system anymore. I think she actually did like a couple shoot interviews where she basically exposed how shitty NXT UK is.
Oh, that's a shame. I mean, for her that she had to be a part of a shitty system, not WWE. I don't shed tears for fucking corporations. But that's from what I remember of her, she's great. It just makes me really appreciate power women's wrestlers that really carry well. I mean, we just got done watching a Matsumoto match from Ice Ribbon, and God, she's so fucking good. I think with Ivy, my big test for her is going to be, where are you at when you have to go 10 minutes? 10 plus, really. Like if it's against a Sare or a Kaylee Ray or, God forbid, an Io if they want to put her in there with Ivy Nile, which I'm not saying that is like a bad thing. I'm just saying I think Io is so far above the rest of the division. Why is she still here? But yeah, I'm not against Ivy Nile right now.
Dude, how insane is it? How quickly NXT's women's division went from a strength to a weakness.
Dude, I'm still gobsmacked by it.
Over the course of maybe, 4 months, I would say? Maybe 5 or 6 at most? Right. We went from Io and Tony and Dakota and Tegan and Ember and fucking Frankie, and now it's like one of those people is left, and everyone below her is just garbage except Dakota. Okay, two of them are left, and it's Io and Dakota against the world basically, and Candace. Candace I can even include in there because she was around 6 months ago too, and she's pregnant now, like you said.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
It's like decimated. Like the who. Let me ask you this: who's the third best worker? Actually, that's Saray, obviously. Who is the third best worker that gets regular TV time in the women's division?
Dude, I couldn't even tell you. Like
you've got Io number 1, Dakota number 2, and then a fucking power vacuum and a half.
Yeah, because then you'd have to put Saray, I think, behind Dakota, at least for my money right now, what I've seen.
Well, overall, right, but she doesn't ever get featured.
Right, because you said who gets on TV regularly. Power vacuum, and then honestly, as far as regularly featured, either Indy or Persia, depending on who you prefer, in my opinion. Just my opinion, like that.
I would say I would rank Indy above Persia as a worker, but even still, Indy being at number 3 is like, you're hurting. Because Indy's like a fucking powerhouse. She's not a worker. Like, she can work, no doubt. I'm not trying to question that. She's a good worker, but she's not like the workhorse type worker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What's happening? I don't like it. Then we get, then I just gotta be honest, guys. And again, I really didn't.
I'm sure, actually, you know what? I bet you a lot of people would say Kaylee Ray would be that number 3.
And see, I just disagree. I can't join them on that. I don't say that mean-spiritedly. I just can't join them on that. I really didn't think our NXT review would be this, but like it just shows the state of NXT because then we get a solo Sikoa vignette, and I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care.
I love how he even acknowledged that he used to run with the Usos, but now he runs solo, and I'm just like, I mean, it seems like you might still miss them because you still use their moves.
Yeah. I mean, because here's the thing. This is the time, especially when the Bloodline is already, like, doing all that and better because they're in the main event and they're in the spotlight. You gotta be distinctive. And there's nothing distinctive about this dude. And I wanted to like this dude, for the record. When I heard he got signed, I was actually excited. But it's more of the same. And I'm just like, well, we got Bloodline, so I don't really need this. Then we get Grizzled Young Vets. They're walking backstage. Knight and Waller are still brawling. So, that's the whole thing. And then here's something else that confused me. Again, I don't want to be against it. I just want to know what the fuck's happening on multiple levels. Boa. Mei Ying's power passed on to him. He can't control it, but then it cuts to him with, like, the face paint. But when I do learn to control it, you'll fear him. Here's what I actually think is good about this. If they actually did it this way, which I don't think they will. It buys him time. Right? You get him in the fucking performance center more, you get him in the ring more to train, and then it's like, oh, in kayfabe, he's mastering the power.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to necessarily do that, though. I think they should. They gave themselves the perfect out tonight that I don't even think they're going to take. Second of all, and this is actually more pressing to me than Boa. Nothing against Boa. I've already said repeatedly on this podcast, I think he's a really good dude. And I want to root for him so bad, and I want to see him succeed, but I can't force myself to like him, right? That, I think,
well, that's the thing. You can't take him seriously if NXT's not going to present him in such a way that allows you to.
Yes. So, I completely agree with you on that. My question is, where's what are they doing? Where is Mei Ying?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to release her? Are they, like, what are they waiting for? What are they, because we were talking about in-ring workers. I don't even necessarily know if I would put her in that slot anyway, but I think you need all hands on deck, right?
She's definitely up there. I mean, if we're not, the thing is, if we're including women who don't get featured regularly, okay, you've got Saray 3, Gigi Dolan 4. I think it's probably safe to say Karen Q 5.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that.
And then like, it's starting to feel more incremental rather than the huge-ass gap between 2 and whoever they put at 3.
Yes. And, man, like, I feel so bad for Karen Q, man, because I feel like this character had so much potential. Because, again, this was definitely more in the Fiend territory where it's like, it's not going to be putting on clinics at takeovers, but as a character, you can make it a legitimate obstacle. And they just really did not let it breathe at all. And really, now they handed it to Boa.
Yeah.
And, yeah, God, man. Fucking hell. All right.
It's like they They need to just hire a team of people whose job it is to read the fucking room.
Dude, yes. God, if that is not the perfect summation of every time, because I was even thinking to myself, God, I've said fucking hell so many times, I can make a drinking game of it. I'd be in the hospital by the end of this review because I'm just so dizzy and apoplectic with everything this show is doing.
Yeah.
We get Grizzled Young Vets versus Briggs and Jensen. This was my like one of my biggest heats of the night. How do you have these guys lose? Oh, fuck.
Did you not pay attention? Did you mention already the MSK segment, or have we not gotten to that yet?
Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. Did we actually? You know what? I must have skipped that, man. I apologize. I'm just so all.
I mean, to be fair, there was nothing really substantial to come out of it. I just love these dudes, and I fucking hate cops. So this was like a double whammy.
Yeah. I was like, oh god, fuck the police, man. And thankfully, MSK were able to get away. I like the riff that they're doing, where it's like, oh, it's drugs, but we can't say drugs. And I'm like, I see you, MSK. Decriminalize now.
It's very Bill and Ted.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. This is actually making me like them again.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob, yeah. This is actually making me like them again, and I'm actually glad that they're doing this, because I feel like, I thought that they won the titles way too fast.
Isn't it miraculous how easy it is to like them when they're not being booed every week by fucking garbage-ass Full Sail audience?
I've really tried to be nice, but I would just say explicitly, I hate that fucking crowd. They need to get out of there. That crowd. Like, and honestly, between that and how I believe it was Barclays Center that hosted Raw and, like, Survivor Series.
Oh, God, yeah.
WWE needs to start being more selective about what crowds they hosted. I'm sorry. It's just how I feel. Like, it's ridiculous.
Dude, Barclays Center, I feel like that. I don't think they really have like a reputation for being a bad crowd. It's just for some reason when WWE goes there, shit just happens, man. It is wild.
I don't understand it. I don't know. Yeah, Foster, I just have to say I'm right there with you. Comedy stuff is winning me over because, like, they're really good in the ring. I was just like, well, you're a babyface team, and I always believe that, a little bit of struggle should be there, which is why I thought GYV should absolutely have been fucking champions by now as heels, with MSK being, like, the conquering heroes. But I love that they're getting a little breather. They're getting away from that crowd. They're doing fun stuff with these vignettes. It's all good. So, yeah, obviously this tag match I already talked about in Heat of the Night. Fuck, Jensen and Briggs fucking winning this match. I feel so bad for GYV, man. Fuck.
Dude, GYV, another act that should have been on the main roster months ago.
Yeah, dude, honestly, hard agree there, because if you're not going to put the fucking NXT tag titles on them, what the fuck are you doing? This tag team does tag team wrestling better than most of your established tag teams on the main roster anyway. And I say most, it very well may be all. I'd have to take, like, a more conscious inventory. Like, what are you doing?
Dude, if AJ Styles and Omos ever get over enough to become a babyface team, GYV is the exact type of team I would want to take the titles off of them.
Yeah, because, dude, I'll tell you, when Jensen and Briggs hit this high-low, and I even said to myself, is that it? And then it was it, and I just put my face in my hands, because I'm like, really? So they're trying to get better at cheating, which, like, I get maybe because of the small-time jobs they've been doing. Maybe NXT is trying to tell us, oh, it's a work in progress. But, like, then you keep doing the work, and then winning in the ring is the progress. I hate it. I hate it. Triple Threat North American Championship match. This was good. I mean, obviously, when you get workhorses like this, it's going to be a solid affair. Fucking love Carmelo Hayes. The dude really is defending that title with conviction. He makes you believe that he's the top champion in NXT. It's just good shit all around.
I mean, he is as far as I'm concerned, because I refuse to acknowledge that the world title's on Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. D'Angelo fucking interferes, throws Dunn into the steel steps after Dunn had hit bitter end on Gargano. He was going to pin Gargano. So then Carmelo does the leg drive to the back of Gargano's head. Now, I guess, you know what? At first I had a problem with this because, like, why have Gargano eat the pin? Because this might, go against his claim for a one-on-one match. But I get that, he was hit with that, and then Dunn was taken out. I guess my point being, I was originally going to complain about this because I thought it protected Dunn more than Gargano. Yeah. When Gargano's actively in the feud with Hayes. And I still kind of feel that way, but I'm a bit more forgiving given how everything went down. Then, we do the brawl. Waller and LA Knight, they bump into D'Angelo. D'Angelo starts going after Knight. Knight retorts on D'Angelo. It starts breaking down. They're looking to break Gargano's hand. Ciampa's music fucking hits.
Oh
Then when Ciampa helps Gargano to his feet,
Breaker,
and it seems fucking Breaker's music hits. Okay, so now we finally get to talk about this War Games match, and we've already taken a deep seat on this NXT review, so what's like an extra however many minutes to really talk about this, because we need to unpack this to me. How do you even feel about these teams? Because I don't even fucking know how to feel about it, because I really like Braun Breaker. Like, right. I really like Braun
just to recap, it's Breaker, D'Angelo, Mello, and who else?
Waller.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Would it be surprising to anybody if I said that I actually would have preferred Trick Williams over Waller? So
dude, I was gonna say I already said I would have preferred Trick over D'Angelo, but I forgot. I didn't realize Waller was fucking in it too. Christ, I would have preferred Von Wagner to fucking Waller. Christ.
Yeah. Waller to me.
And then the veterans team is DIY, Dunn, and fucking LA Knight, I assume.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, it does seem to be a mixture of baby faces and heels on both teams, which is weird for NXT, because I feel like they've always tried to do war games.
The whole gimmick is that it's NXT veterans versus NXT 2.0 New Guard.
Yeah. And, like, obviously New Guard should go over because Braun Breaker's on your fucking team. And he's already lost to Ciampa at Halloween Havoc. So, not to mention, Carmelo Hayes is on so much of a roll that he shouldn't lose either. I just don't know. Like, I don't like LA Knight for the old school part. And see, this is why I hate that Kyle O'Reilly is doing the stuff with Wagner, because at least it would be somewhat of a callback to Undisputed Era always being a part of War Games, right? Like, this last remnant of UE being on the old school team would have been so much better than LA fucking Knight. DIY, I don't mind. You had to expect it because they had that little tease a few weeks back where they kind of stared each other down. Ciampa, fucking champion. What are we going to do about it? So it was them. And then who else do we say? So it's fucking LA Knight, DIY, and who else again? I'm already blanking on who else it was.
LA Knight, DIY, and Peter Dune.
Oh, Peter Dune. Well, there you go. Charisma vacuum. Done in ring. He'll be fine in War Games. He's been in War Games before, so that's fine. And honestly, I'll say right now that I agree with Javaris. Javaris just said, I see Braun winning by pinning Ciampa, and that's how he gets his rematch. That's going to be the only thing that makes this match okay to me. But I'm going to be honest, I really don't like the make of these teams, personally. I don't like... Because here's the thing. If they're trying to make NXT Old Guard, the face is here. Because Waller's been very disrespectful on the mic. D'Angelo, obviously, is clearly supposed to be a heel, even though the crowd's behind him.
Melo's
Hayes
a heel.
Clearly is supposed to... Yeah, Carmelo's a heel again, even though I think the crowd likes him, and I don't understand why they're, like, fighting against that. And Braun's associated with that. Now, if you're a Braun Breaker fan, and I know I am, you can maybe dissociate and say, well, he may not like these guys, but he does represent the same path where they come from. He's walking it differently than they are, and really he just wants his rematch.
He came up through the system around the same time as them.
Yeah.
So they have that like brotherhood kind of thing going on in that sense.
I think one of my biggest problems with this, if I'm honest, is that, and I kind of said this last week, and this kind of recourses back to last week. I was afraid because of the promo that Ciampa cut on Braun, where it seemed like he just wanted to get one up on him on the mic, and the crowd was behind Ciampa, and I fucking hate this crowd. It's like, it's going to diminish the overness of Braun Breaker, when I feel like he is going to be the face, the star, or at least I think the company, you would think, has that plan for him, but I don't know what this company's thinking anymore, besides record profits.
Budget cuts, budget cuts.
Exactly. So are you trying to make Braun heel in this instance, associating him with these other guys that are very clearly telegraphed as heel?
Might be, man. They might be.
And if they are,
oh,
why?
God. Well, and not only that, but then that also implies that they're making Peter Dune babyface.
An LA Knight babyface.
Well, we already kind of established that was happening earlier on when he had the whole thing with Waller, and then the heelish. Who else was it that he had an interaction with where the other guy came off as heelish? Gacy, fucking Gacy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, LA Knight is either already a babyface now, or he's just in the process of turning into one.
Oh God. Okay. Watch out, cause boomers, fucking boomers. Yeah, Braun Breaker is probably what I'm most hyped. Him and Hayes are probably what I'm most hyped about in this match. That's it. Like everybody else, Tony D'Angelo again, I like, but even I conceded, right, that I feel like this way exceeds his talent level right now, personally. Maybe he'll surprise us. I'm trying to keep an open mind. But, dude, I'm going to be honest. The way this War Games card has turned out, it's got Survivor Series energy to me in the sense of I really don't even want to react to this. I think the two matches I do want to react to are hair versus hair, because I think Grimes and Hudson deserve an audience, and they've killed it. And yeah, men's war game. Which one do I care about more? Do I care about women's war games more or men's war games? Where do you fit on that, Bill? I'm curious.
Women's for sure by a lot because Io and Gigi and Cora.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'd say, you know what, women's. I can't even give the cut to the men's, and I really like Braun and Carmelo. And I know at least you really like Carmelo. And I think you like Braun enough, but I don't know. I think it's probably safe to say that I'm a bigger fan of Braun than you are. But I know we both really like Carmelo, but that's just not enough. It's just not enough. Yeah,
you know,
I'm
when we get gimmicks like Tony D'Angelo, it makes me think, like, if NXT is capable of coming up with these cool ass gimmicks, why do they refuse to put them on really talented in-ring performers with no personality?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why couldn't this fucking Tony D'Angelo gimmick have gone to someone like Tony Nese 6 months ago before he got released?
Yeah.
He's even literally sharing a first name with it, right? Like, you could go from Tony Nese, Tony D'Angelo. There's not even that much of a leap to make. I think anyone has a fucking basic ass Italian accent that they could pull off. He's got the look. He can actually fucking pull it off in the ring. He's a guy that you could trust to be in a War Games match. Why do you got to give it to some green shitter off the street?
Bro, I don't know.
That's like my whole thing, right? Is like, same thing with fucking Sutton, right? What was her name? Tiffany Sutton, right? That was her name?
Tiffany Stratton.
Stratton,
I think it was.
yeah. Why give that to some random green fucking gymnast girl that didn't know what wrestling was a year ago? Why not put that on an actual wrestler who knows what the fuck they're doing, who can go in the ring and give you women's championship matches at takeovers that'll get rated by fucking Meltzer rather than duds? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's my thing. Like, you have these good ideas for gimmicks. Give them to people who need personality, not people who can't fucking work. What?
Yeah. Yeah. That was NXT, guys. That was NXT. High spots.
The show is becoming an embarrassment.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, after a review like this, I have to question how much longer we're even going to be reviewing this shit. Because
Not much.
Yeah, I'm wiped even just reviewing this. I'm exhausted because I don't. Again, this is why Stardom's my lifeblood. I feed on positivity and loving wrestling far more than I do on hating on it. And between wrestling culture and this show just fucking going down the fucking shitter and just everything, it's like I'm really getting close to my breaking point where I'm just like, fuck all of this. It's just fucking awful. Hey, Javaris, to be fair, if we weren't going to depress you, the culture was. You know it's bad. You know we're not even wrong, and that's why you're depressed. And again, you know, I even like some of these guys. Like, I like Tony D'Angelo, but, like, way too soon. Braun Breaker, I actually get him getting this. I actually feel like he'll be able to handle himself okay in there. Carmelo absolutely is ready for this. It's just, I don't know. Everything just feels off to me right now. But, yeah, high spots, low shots. My low shot, you know what? It's going to be fucking Indy because she ate the pin on a tag team that's never going to win the women's tag titles until they do win the women's tag titles. And then I have to come up on here and be like, well, guess I was wrong. So, you know, that's happening. And Indy very clearly is concerned about her husband, didn't have her head in the game. Persia even offered to wrestle a goddamn handicap match. And she was like, no, I'm going to be in the ring. I can do this. I can go. And then what happened? You ate the pin. So, Indy Hartwell, very easily my low shot tonight.
Makes a lot of sense. I think my low shot tonight's going to be Mandy Rose because you're the NXT Women's Champion and you literally already lost a match to a non-contender and basically made her a contender out of that.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. High spot, Carmelo Hayes. Thank you for being one of the best fucking parts of the show. I know you already said, like you were calling your high spot early for Cora Jade. So I would also like to make my honorary high spot Cameron Grimes, just for being fucking amazing.
Yeah, Grimes was the other person that I had in mind when I thought of the two people that deserved high spots tonight.
Yeah, like what a great fucking promo this man is.
Yeah.
I could. Honestly, guys, with how negative I was,
I will say though,
show,
Mello cut a great promo earlier in the night too. On top of not only that, but then having a great match and retaining, so that makes sense.
Yes. Honestly, given how much I met about a lot of the acts in ring, legitimately, just give me for every NXT episode just a round table of Cameron Grimes, Malcolm Bivens, and Carmelo Hayes talking about random shit. Like, I want to hear them talk about political issues. I want to hear them talk about their lives, their wardrobe, their music, just anything. Because hearing them talk...
Cameron Grimes being like, man, I got to tell you, I really feel like this Build Back Better plan ain't doing enough for working families.
And Bivens is like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you know, just like... It'd
be amazing.
Like, I am more here for that than I am for most of the wrestling we got on the show tonight. So yeah, did you want to like acknowledge anybody else beyond Cora? And I know you already like agreed.
I think just to really solidify, I'm going to double down with you. Honorary high spot being Cameron Grimes, because really he cut, like I said, promo of the year tonight, or at least one of, in the conversation for promo of the year tonight. And yeah, I will also give my high spot to who I said earlier. I'm sticking to my word, Cora Jade. Just had a really good night. She beat the NXT Women's Champion, even if she had a little help along the way. She got to cut a promo on the rest of her team and basically try and whip them into shape and be like, let's snap the fuck out of it and get our shit together. And she just kind of supplies that like level of like comfort. Like, she comes on the TV and it's like, this is nice,
She does. She really does. All right, guys. This has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW. The best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my corner combination. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top result for NXT reviews on YouTube. When you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong, so please leave that like. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never get missed any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. TWitWoW Discord access, only $3 a month. Additional Q&A questions. We're going to be doing Q&A December, I want to say 2nd. Yes, December 2nd. Additional Q&A questions are only $1. Those are the two things I always like to plug, Discord and Q&A questions. Non-Patreon donors only get 3 Q&A questions. If you donate $1, you get 2 additional questions for a total of 5. And the Discord being only $3, there is a Q&A channel that you can just submit your Q&A questions there. Super freaking easy. And it's a great community. And we do game nights Mondays and Fridays now because we're no longer covering SmackDown. God, we may be doing a lot more game nights if WWE just keeps sucking like they are. And yeah, it's just a great community. Talk about politics, talk about, we have a free talk channel for just anything else. Live wrestling discussion when shows are happening. I wanted to join that tonight, but I was like all out of sorts, like watching this fucking show and like, what the fuck's even happening? So yeah, $3 a month for TWitWoW Discord. Great experience. Follow us both on Twitter. I'm at John_TWitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. So just go to my pinned tweet, reply to it, submit your questions. I believe that and the Q&A channel on our Discord are the easiest places to be a part of Q&A. Ashton's pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule for the month. We are now close to the end of November because time fucking flies like that. And I know we're probably expecting a Stardom reaction soon. What show are we waiting on, Ashton? Would it be the 22nd or the 23rd? 23rd, right?
Let me pull up the schedule.
That's what the schedule says. Yeah, Friday, November 26th at 5. We are expecting to live react to the Stardom November 23rd show.
Yes, sir.
So that'll be great. Hopefully
no. Wednesday, tomorrow. We're supposed to be doing the 21st show tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to be the 21st show.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I haven't seen anything up yet. Okay, so we're expecting the 21st show Wednesday, 23rd show Friday. I mean, their upload rate has been great, but I just haven't seen anything about the 21st show. And
we'll just have to wait and see. Today. I mean, they normally get it up within 4 days. So worst case scenario, I'm thinking we're going to end up doing Thursday and Saturday instead of Wednesday and Friday. But that's not the worst thing in the world. We'll be fine.
Yeah. So we'll have to do that. But yeah, guys, we'll keep you posted. Hopefully we're here with Stardom tomorrow at 5. If not, maybe Thursday, Friday. Again, we'll keep you posted. But I do know that for the rest of this week, it is just Stardom. And then, God, I can't wait for whenever that 27th show. I know Ashton has it as December 1st. We'll be live reacting to that. I can't wait for that. And I hope it is around there. If not sooner, I would not complain. So yeah, guys, just be on the lookout for Stardom. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and until we meet again, tune in, and peace out.